Right. So this is Andrea. Andrea lives in London and has just completed the 12-week program with me. And you joined, I believe, around January or something. And
Yeah, it was beginning of January, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And you're looking very, very good for it. Especially compared to the first day I met you, which was through a free consultation over the phone like this. Because I'm based in Brighton, I work always online anyway with people, but especially if you're all over the UK, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be in Brighton. So you're the prime example of that. So
Mm.
I'm going to ask you a few questions. So the first one is, where were you and how did you feel before you started working with me back in a few months ago?
Yeah. I was in quite a difficult period of my life. I'd just been sort of diagnosed with a condition called Meniere's, where I was getting unpredictable attacks of vertigo, which would last for hours and really sort of leave me unable to walk, stand up straight, move, and quite often were sort of accompanied by vomiting for hours. So it was really affecting my life. I was taking quite a lot of time off work. Um, I found myself being more and more confined to my home because I was scared to go out because I didn't know
Mhm.
when an attack might happen. Um, my social circle, understandably, started to diminish. I lost contact with friends. And my family were very worried about me because I live in London and work down here alone, and they're in the northwest of the UK. So it
Mm.
was very difficult for them. Um, and I'd basically seen an ENT doctor who'd sort of told me there was no real cure for it. And the only sort of treatment they could give me at that stage was to give me a steroid injection in my ear. And
Mm.
I just felt that was very, very drastic. Being in my mid 40s, I didn't want to do that route, especially when I'd asked the potential risks and been told that I could go deaf in that ear.
Yeah.
So I just really had no idea what to do. And I was in a very sort of dark place and just didn't know how I was going to get out of it, really. So
Mm.
that's how
Yeah.
I was. My life had been impacted in a way that I just had not imagined. Um, and I then, as you know, Natalie, embarked on a bit of a mission to look on the internet to see how I could treat myself.
Yeah.
Um, and I got into a trap of researching a lot and then did food intolerance tests and other tests with other clinics. And basically, it restricted my eating from there on. I started just eating meat and vegetables only. I'd given up fish, nuts, grains, everything,
Mm.
because I was convinced that they were giving me attacks. So I just got into a complete spiral and really didn't know how to get out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. At the time when we first spoke, you were really fearful of food, weren't you? You didn't
Very.
know what to eat, you didn't know
Yeah.
how much, whatever. It was complete confusion, wasn't it, around the whole food?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I
Yeah.
think I'd also actually become quite angry and resentful of food because I just saw it as something that was just basically sustaining me, but I wasn't enjoying it. And as you say, I was completely scared to try anything that wasn't apart from those foods that didn't appear to be, giving me attacks, although I was still having attacks every few weeks. I mean, this went on for a whole year of my life. And
Yeah.
it got to the stage where I just didn't know what to do. And I was getting attacks when I was away with friends, trying to get away for a weekend and things like that. And it just got a very scary place for me, really. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really understandably. Yeah. So you joined and decided on the spot, actually, yeah, I'm going to do this. And let's talk about what you achieved, and then we'll talk about how you found the program and working with me. So, where are you now? 3 months later.
Where I am now, I would have never imagined I could be in this place so quickly. And for that, Natalie, I'm very grateful, as you know. Yeah, I have no fear of an attack coming on at all. I don't even think about the attacks. They actually seem such a long time ago now, even though it's 3 months. I'm eating a whole variety of food and more. I enjoy my food so much. I love trying new recipes. I'm excited about food. I've got tons more energy. I was exhausted before all this. And I feel so much calmer, happier, and positive. So I just feel, and I've now, established contact with my friends again, booked holidays, and I just don't even think about the Meniere's at all recurring. It's completely gone as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
That's amazing. You've done brilliantly. And so how did you find it? How did you find actually working with me and going through the program?
I found it was just wonderful. I looked forward to every week because I was learning something new about myself every week. I remember reading one of your testimonials where a lady had said she had a light bulb moment every week, and it was very much that. And it was, we were meeting and there was a lot of compassion there and understanding. I never felt that I had to do something. It was very much, we talked about things together and would this work for me? Only do it if you're comfortable with it. And I found it very easy to follow the tasks and enjoyed doing it and investing that time in myself, and it's paid dividends. So yeah, working together was easy. It really was. And I always felt fully supported and like there was somebody there. If I struggled in the week, I mean, some of the texts that you sent me in the week, it was almost like you knew I was having a bit of a hard day, and there was the text, follow this, do this. Yeah. So it was really easy to follow the program, very easy. Yeah.
Fantastic. And it does make it easier when someone like you is fully trusting and willing to commit and fully commit to making the changes. And they're not difficult to follow, are they, those changes? And it's not, did you find that, because I know a lot of people who are hesitating to join my program would hesitate partly because they don't want to eliminate lots of foods, they don't want to be starving, they think I'm going to put them on this diet. How would you say that's
not at all? I was on the strictest of diets that I could ever have been on. I mean, meat and vegetables. I mean, breakfasts, had no idea what to eat. At one point, I was eating Brussels sprouts and sweet potatoes. But now, I'm having porridge, everything, toast, gluten-free bread, anything. It's, there's just so many options now. I don't feel restricted at all. Even when we were introducing the foods back in, there was no fear because I knew that, I was being guided by you. So, the foods were introduced slowly and at my pace, and in line with how I felt about introducing food. So it wasn't a case of, you must do this now. And I think that's the main thing about the program. I never felt judged for being in the position I'd got myself into. It was, that's okay. I understand why you've done it, and let's work with this. So it was a two-way process, which I think is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So last question. If you were to speak to someone who was hesitating about joining, what would you say to them?
I would strongly advise them not to hesitate, because it's the best thing I've done in my life in terms of getting my life back and getting my health back. I know everybody considers their finances and thinks about, well, should I invest in this? There's no guarantee. But I would say take a leap of faith, because it really will help you. And if you are really that desperate and you really need the help, you will get it, because, I've really felt guided by you, Natalie. I've got my life back. I'm not going to look back anymore. I'm moving forward now. So yeah. I wouldn't hesitate. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And thank you for, again, trusting me fully with your health, with your everything we discussed and all. And it's been a total pleasure working with you.
Likewise. Yeah.
Complete pleasure. So